What's up, Tech family? My name is Josh Tech, and on this episode, I'm going to talk about 3 things you should not do as a software engineer. So let's get straight into it. All right, so the first thing that you should not do as a software engineer is rely on tutorials. That is very important. You cannot rely on those tutorials that you get on YouTube, that you get on Udemy, that you get on these classes, because if you rely on them too much, when it comes down to coding interviews and come down to those really deep questions in which they really want to know if you can problem solve and solve questions, you're going to look like you don't know what you're doing, and that possum syndrome is going to pick up dramatically. So I want to tell you that's the first important thing that you should stop doing if you're doing it now. If you're spending 5 hours or however amount of time you spend on tutorials on the weekend or a weekday, please don't rely on it. You need to find other resources, free code camp, anything else that can kind of just be projects in which you're working on something, but you're not relying on copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. It's not going to work here. You need to really understand really how these programming languages work, and it will put you in a better position for the long run. All right, so now the second thing that you should not do as a software engineer is not reading documentation and not really understanding how it can benefit you. That's very important, because when you join a company, or just in general, if you're trying to work on a project with somebody or contribute to a project on GitHub or something like that, you need to read the documentation to understand what's going on in the code. And that's very important, because it can save you a lot of time when you start working on it. If you read the documentation, understand what's going on, get to the root of what's the problem, or how the system works, how the programming language works, how what they're trying to create, then it can put you in a better position to be able to get things done and not waste so much time trying to catch up and figure out where to go next. Documentation is very important. I suggest that you always try to read it if it's there under the README. Just try to figure out where that is if it has one, and it can put you so much better and so much quicker to understand things, especially sometimes when you got legacy code. It puts you just in a much better position to be able to excel faster and be able to get some things done, because we need to get things done. Lastly, so now the third thing that you should not do as a software engineer is stay inside all day. Get outside. Do not stay out in the room or in your area where you code all day and just chill. Get outside, enjoy life, man. This is underrated, because we always talk about things we need to do in tech, but literally I put this as a thing that's important, and that you should not do, because man, staying in the side all day, only being by yourself or just talking to people, because now it's more hybrid or more remote in a sense. So just not being around to interact with people, or just seeing nature, going outside, playing sports if you want to play anything, man, like basketball, soccer, football, flag football, whatever that you really like, bowling, getting out there playing some top golf, anything, just get outside. Really don't just spend your whole entire life doing this. You need a break, and going outside is one of those key things. Going for a walk outside your neighborhood, if it's safe, if you don't feel like you're in a position where you don't feel comfortable. But if you don't, then go to a library. Library is another thing where you at least drive in there or walk in there and get in some steps in, and then get in a new environment. That's really the key of things that I'm talking about, just being in a new environment, because it does help with our mental health, and it's very important. And we have to stand for something. If we just let all these companies tell us what to do, and all we do is spend excessive amount of time just trying to be the best, and then we look back on our lives and all we did was just sit in the office or sit in our room most of our life, that's not the way to live, man. We get our PTO, use it. Don't sit here and just only focus on one thing and then never enjoy your life. Please enjoy your life and spend some time outside after you put in all this work. And I'm also, side note, now if you are trying to really transition and get into a point in this career field where you want to get to another level, probably break into a tech job, or you're trying to move up to a senior level position, yeah, You may need to spend more time in the house for a short amount of time, for a season where you really need to go hard and only focus on that, like really put in a lot of work. Like 8 hours, 10 hours, like really grinding on your off days to really put yourself in a position. But once you achieve that goal, like, yeah, take a break. Enjoy a little bit of time. Like, don't spend as much time like that every single day. Like, go and have some fun, enjoy your life. But for a season, sometimes you need to put in that work, and that's very key. So I wanted to make that a side note to point that out. All right, and that's all I have for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to leave a comment. Just let me know that you all are watching. I really would appreciate the support. So be sure to do that, and espero que tengas un buen día. Hasta pronto.